live in that house?
No.
Unbelievable. What a life you had. How you doing, Adrian?
I am great. I'm excited about this.
You get your nutpad out. You got something to learn today, because this
right,
guy
man.
is the absolute best at relationship marketing, relationship capital, and treating people like human beings instead of prospects, which is what we say we are all about. You have done it, Robert, and I just watch where you do something else that you relaunch, and everybody just goes, well, he'll never pull that off. And the next thing you know, you are back at the top of the mountain again. How you doing, baby?
I'm blessed and highly favored and deeply loved. How are you, Tom?
Never better, man. And you are a big Jesus lover too, right?
Man, to the max.
Yeah. Yeah. So crazy.
My son just created, he's really big into AI. And he did something for me that's like the biggest gift I've ever had. But he used AI and it shows Jesus hugging me.
That's what I was just trying to do to Adrian.
Oh, I saw that. That was so great.
That was, yeah, what I just did to Adrian wasn't AI. It was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't connected the dots yet, and I'm going, what the heck is he doing?
Yeah, I hugged him because I tried to emulate what your son did, so I could feel a little bit like, the love.
I was like, if my son knows that about me and creates that was really, really an incredible gift, because I was like, I would have never thought. He's asked me many times, Dad, I can put you in anything with AI. And I never thought, hey, can you have Jesus give me a great big hug?
I could not believe it. Yeah, and I like the Jesus face. Where'd he get that guy?
I don't know. He probably some character in Viking or something. I don't know.
It was truly
really,
amazing.
really cool. Absolutely.
Yeah. And a little scary.
Absolutely.
Because I wondered how he got a little scary.
Reach out.
Man, maybe that's true.
I've had some people reach out to me and go, I'm really connected to God, and I'm going, hey, check this out. You think you're connected?
So your walk, your walk in network marketing has been a parallel walk with your faith, with your integrity, with what you believe about life. And you've been able to make that all congruent with building a giant business, because the concepts are all the same. It's the same thing.
Everything that I do on a day-to-day basis, I can back up with a story or either a Bible verse. Even like the title that we're talking about today is, for a lack of vision, people perish. And I just know that people, imagination is like working on your memory. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like intuition and stuff like that. And people don't work on their imagination. But Tom, if you guys can relate anything to life, I always like using relationships because it works really well. But when you think about the first time that you've seen your wife, and you thought, wow, maybe something's going on there. Imagine how much your imagination is clicked into gear.
Yeah.
Because someone will reach out and say, hey, Adrian, what's wrong with you? You look really tired. Oh, I was talking to my girlfriend last night. Oh, what do you mean? Well, all night. What did you talk about? It didn't matter.
Yeah, right.
And when I met my wife, now of 40 years, I lived in Williston, North Dakota. And so, man, I would work my butt off during the week to get off early on Friday so I could drive 4 hours just to see her on the weekend. You know what I mean? And man, when your imagination is just whipping, and I know, Adrian, working with your contact mapping, it's like once it came into an imagination of what you could create, how many hours did you sit in front of a computer creating that?
More than I would care to share.
Right. But it's the imagination of going, wow, this is a concept that I have that could help people. And then immediately you put it in imagination, and now people go, I don't understand how you can work, 15, 16, 18, 2 days in a row on programming. And it's like, no, it's imagination. I'm in the groove. I'm going to make it happen.
Amen. Yeah. It's the creative act.
Yes.
And whatever that looks like, whether it's network marketing, whether it's software, whether it's whatever you do, when you're in that space, time kind of stands still, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So I always tell people when I met my mentor, the guy that knew me, his name is Sean Hennigan. I write about it in my book that people can get for free on roberthollis.com/gifts. And Sean, this guy reached out to me, and I knew nothing about network marketing, zero, right? And he reaches out to me and he says, hey, Bobby, have you ever heard of Amway? And I said, no. And he says, I'm in a company like that, but it's legal. And I was like, it didn't make a difference what he said because he was saying the wrong language to me. I didn't know who Amway was. I didn't know anything. Sure. And then I said, what are you trying to say, Sean? And he said, I met this guy that showed me his check. It was $62,000. It was still attached to the stub. And he's looking for someone to train to help him build the business. And my response was, I'll come pick you up. I want to meet that guy.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I met him, I went, can I see your check? And he said, yeah. And he showed me the check and listened to how smart my mentor was. I said, I don't understand how you can make that much money. And he goes, Robert, I have 30,000 people responsible for my income.
Yeah. Really cool.
And I went, what? And he goes, Robert, what if all 30,000 of them were lazy and they only worked 1 hour a month? I get paid on 30,000 hours a month. How many hours do you get paid on? And from that point, this is how he snapped me into imagination. He said, what if I took this check and endorsed it to you? What would you spend the money on? And I started telling him. And every time I told him, he would go, how would that make you feel? And I go, amazing. And he says, say as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can. And that, I mean, I always hear these stories of people that take forever to be successful. I made 10 grand my first 45 days in this industry 37 years ago. Because all I did is ask them to watch the video. He told me, I bet you can't get 70 people to watch this video in your first 30 days. I went, you're on. I got 72 people to watch the video. 11 of them got involved, and 6 of them made me a millionaire before the age of 30.
And what have you really changed?
Nothing.
That's what I'm trying to get you. Everybody's looking for the new widget.
Yeah. The only thing that I got excited about, Tom, is when Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah, well, that helped. That helped.
Tom, that's an inside joke for people that are a little older, you know?
Yeah, I got that one. I'm for sure he's wondering who the heck Al Gore is. Yeah. But all of you, I mean, you people listening, there is a fundamental truth here that you have got to talk to either people in your business or new people every day, and probably both, right, Robert?
Right.
That's all it is. And however you do it is great.
Right. There's probably only one other key thing that someone told me back then, and it was this thing called, I know a lot of people probably do it wrong, but it's called taprooting.
Yeah, of course.
And what I do, me and Ray Higdon talked about this, and Ray, when he interviewed me, he goes, I teach people against doing what you do. And I said, I know. So then he asked me to explain it. So here's what I would do is when I bring people in and get them to imagine what, because my goal in life is just to help people imagine a better future for them and their family. And then I show them how to do it. But instead of telling people to call their own people, I ask them, who are the best people that you know? And I start with one. And then how I taproot is I would call your person for you. I would connect with your person for you.
Wow.
I'm building the business, and my goal is to get, so people are like, in my opinion, they're lazy. So I really teach people, when someone tells you the best person they know, ask them a little bit about them and then contact them for them.
Yeah. Or for them or with them?
With them.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
Yeah. And a lot of people just say, hey, put a list of 200 people and start calling them. Well, the automatic thought of a new person is I'm not going to call my best people. I'm going to call people that if they tell me no, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Those are not the people that you should call. So if Tom was at the top of my list and Denise was at the top of my list, I'd want to try to say, well, I got to get a paycheck first. I got to get a rank
Yeah.
first before I can call Tom and Denise. But if you use other people's stories and instead of your own, now all of a sudden I can call Tom.
100%.
Because even the company that I just got in 7 years ago, I was calling people up and just doing nothing but telling their story. I still do that to this date. I've been in this company for 7 years and still haven't done a presentation.
Wow.
Why do I need to do a presentation if somebody else is doing it?
That's exactly right. That is exciting.
He has the best laugh.
He's got the best laugh, and it's a little bit like Garrett. You actually have to laugh because he's laughing. But here's the deal, everybody. He just said something so profound. He said, I just got into this company 7, and some of us went months, some of us went minutes, some of us went seconds, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
He just got in 7 years ago. Most of you are thinking that's a lifetime,
Right.
and that's like 4 different network marketing careers for you, but it's not. That is just 7 years ago, because these people that tell you they make the money all in the first month or first 6 months or first year, it's just smoke and mirrors.
Totally.
Building residual income is hard. It takes a long time, and you might as well face facts, folks. It is not a sprint. It is a complete and total marathon. Right, Robert?
Yeah. One of the things Adrian and I were talking about is about 7 months ago, I decided to get involved in one of the divisions of our company is trading. And why I wasn't interested in learning how to trade is because exactly what you said, Tom. For me to change who I am and what I'm doing, I knew that it would take time and mastery to learn to be a good trader. Yeah. Right. And I'm going like, why people just go, I'll give it a try. Yoda, don't try, do. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that want to try and have this lottery mentality. And so when I started looking at learning how to trade, I was going, what if this takes me 5 years to learn it? And I just don't understand why people will get a 4-year degree, can't get a job, and be in debt, and that's okay. But when you're learning the skill of communicating with other people, getting them to imagine a better future for them and their family, and then insisting it and happening, I've always looked at every person that in my organization that's earning a full-time income is generating an extra $10,000 a month for me. Yeah. So right. They're like mini franchises. We remember, Tom, there was a guy that used to call this industry the people franchise. So people always reach out to me all the time. And they go, you got to hear about this comp plan. You got to hear about this product. You got to hear about these owners and crypto and all this stuff. And I go, that's not my business. And they go, what do you mean? I thought you were in network marketing. And I said, listen, I'm in the people business. You haven't talked one thing about how you're helping people.
Yeah.
So I still have people that are involved in me and been involved for 37 years. And I still have people that are in this industry that's been involved as long as I have, that's still in business with me. So there's a good and a wrong way to do this industry. But if you do it correctly, my deal has always been, man, taking brand new people and making their lifestyle something that they only imagined and dreamed about. I'm addicted to that. I'm totally addicted to that. No different than getting people saved and getting them connected to God. And they're never the same. It's like, wow, I had something little to do with that. Are you kidding me? And so why would I want to stop doing that?
And so you're still building your business.
Still am.
And you're
I
in.
actually tried.
You're
Tom,
in.
you know this in 2012 to 2012 to 2018, I tried to be a life coach and
Yeah.
a coach and a trainer and an author and an international speaker. I hated every second of it.
Lesson learned.
Did you also suck at it?
No,
No,
I made $3 million doing it.
So you made $3 million, but you just weren't happy. And
I wasn't happy because I traded my residual lifestyle for a job.
Yeah.
Every day I was looking for new people to speak with, new coaching, new come up with a new course. It was like, it was work.
I talked to an icon yesterday.
Yeah.
Can't tell you his name. And I just finally said, you are so talented. You don't want a corporate job. You don't want to be a consultant. You're always the first guy to go. Go sit down and find a company that you're going to hate and stay there forever. And you're going to be rich. If you work hard and you take the skills that you're trying to get them to pay you to teach that to your own team. Party's over, no boss, and you get to have the life of Riley, right?
Yeah. And to me, a professional network marketer is someone that's actually, people don't mind getting a part-time job, right? So if a part-time job would make you $2,000 a month and you didn't have to get a part-time job, then that's a professional to me. A definition of a professional network marketer is someone that's getting paid to help other people and they don't have to do a part-time job.
Good.
Well, the next goal would be get rid of your full-time job. And so depending on who watches this video live or recorded, it's like, what it takes to leave your current situation as far as a job. And so now what you got to do is just figure out the numbers. So I always say, remember Don Fala used to have, Don Fala used to have this thing where he would just do the theoretical example, and I still do it. And so, my mind's always going, okay, so if an average person did 20 and I made $7, $20 in volume, I made $7 a customer per month, or an affiliate, then I just divide that into the money I need to make. And then I go out and get that many people. It's like, it's not science.
Pretty simple math.
It is.
You break it down that way, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you something, you always want to know if you made a difference in the world, and you've certainly helped a lot of people. One of the things that you did that you might not even know you did was many, many years ago, you were in a car with David Rutz and he fell asleep at the wheel and almost killed all of you. And as a result of you waking up in his lap and him saying, well, I was a little tired, or however that went, he told me to be sure to ask you about that.
Yeah. When people talk about David is just an amazing human being. He really, really is. And when that was a challenge from my mentor. My mentor had this upper level thing called Knights of the Round Table. And I said, how can I get on this Knights of the Round Table? And he said, move to a state that we're not in, a major city that we're not in, and do what you did in California. I had like 7 offices and about 4,000 members. And so I picked Michigan. And when I got Michigan, that's where I met Tony and Mike Kupas that own ACN. And they introduced me to David Rutz. And it was funny because people talk about how do you get people to an event. This goes back to the old days, Tom and I. You put them in a vehicle and you took them to the event.
Yeah. Well, to their house.
It's like you didn't ask them if they would go. You picked them up.
Yeah.
And so, that was funny. There was the funny one that Dave probably didn't tell you about is we drove to, I believe it was New Jersey, and they had the pay tolls. I've never seen those before. Yeah. So I had very blessed. I had one of these big 560 SL Mercedes. And we were just flying in that thing. And all of a sudden we pulled over to get some food to eat at one of these turn deals. And then we took off. And as soon as I got to the end of the toll thing, they told me to pull over and they gave me a ticket for doing 98 miles an hour. to this toll road, right? And I thought, man, if we didn't stop for 30 minutes, I would have gone to jail. So
Yeah.
I was actually treating the deal like the Audubon. That was pretty stupid, but you do stupid stuff when you're young. But we got there in time. That's for
One
sure.
thing that the reason I brought up Ruts in that story was because I've been doing business with Ruts for many years.
Yes.
And he talks about how tight you guys have always been. But what I love about you guys is you talk about each other, even though in competing companies with all of the people, I mean, all the top people,
Right.
they are not shooting each other. It's all the people down there shooting each other at the top. It's a collaboration, right, Robert?
Yeah, like if I ever said anything negative about you and Denise, it's like I guess when I look at network marketing compared to the rest of the world of 8 billion people, I just look at our family as being very, very small.
Yeah.
And so I just want more people in that family. So when people are doing the same thing I'm doing, it's like you hear the way that NFL players treat each other. You know what I mean? Off the field, they're best friends. You know what I mean? On the field, we're forced to compete. But with 8 billion people, I've never, ever had a conversation where someone called me up and said, I'm thinking about working with Tom and Denise. And I went, that is a bad move.
Well, thank you for that.
It's like, man, could be working with 2 better people.
So our guest next week is going to be a guy named Armand. And how do you say his last name, right?
Puyo.
I always say it wrong.
Hey, I worked with him as well.
He just bought business
For home.
for home.
For home.
For
Business
home.
for home.
He just bought business for home. The photographic memory, Tom. And I'm getting so old, he has to finish my sentences for me. But at the end of the day, he bought it from Ted and Deanie Knighton, and it was a completely different animal before Armand bought it. And it was kind of a clickbait type thing. And he was trying to do all he could to get viewers. And, there was money involved. And these guys have taken it over. And I think next week he's going to announce that they are going to really throw some integrity at it and get rid of that sensationalism and really, really elevate this profession yet one more time. The reason I segued into that about Ruts is because Armand feels about company owners the same way that we feel about all the leaders.
Yeah.
He wants to rent. He's a big
Armand and I worked in a company called Kiani, and then we worked together with each other in Gano Excel. And so I was very, very honored and blessed to have that incredible guy in my organization. Holy cow. Hi, Ron. Ron's an amazing guy. So watching Armand put his spin, and of course, you got the cast members that are also on there. It's like I'm really excited about that because it's it's very difficult to just know that integrity is very, very important, and character is very important. And Armand, everything he seems to touch turns to gold. So he is someone that there's so many of us that are very, very close friends. And I remember when I was on your show years ago, I feel like I was on your show when it was called Johnny Carson.
It was. And you're still wearing the same shirt. Awesome.
I got this shirt, but I have 90 of them. No.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll never forget the first time I saw you back in the back of the room and everybody's swarming you and you got that shirt on and you don't exactly look like Jack LaLanne and I don't either. And I come back and I look a little bit like John Candy. My shirt tail's hanging out, half of my suit, got food all over my shirt. And here's Hollis and I back there. And here's all the smooth talkers walking up, kind of looking at us like they'll never make anything of themselves. And I just love you because it's not like
when I first spoke at, when Eric Worre was building GoPro and it started in the beginning stage, right? Before he's got, Les Brown and Tony Robbins and all those guys, I was blessed to be one of his anchor speakers twice. And when I come walking out and everyone was dressed to the nines. I mean, you know, and then I would come out dressed in my shirt, my Jesus sandals, and my shorts.
And then they would say something like, well, Eric's shoes cost $5,000.
And I'm going like, hey, I support 2,500 orphans.
Yeah, but there's no doubt about it. But you know what?
And I'm going like, shoes or take care of more orphans. I know which one gives me more pleasure. And I always want to give the shout out to Bill Austin. Bill Austin, you know, from the Starkey Foundation, is the person that really set me straight with that stuff. And here's a guy that used to go door to door selling hearing aids, and he makes enough money to be part owner, then buys the company. And then Starkey Hearing, he starts a foundation. He starts fitting children with hearing aids for free.
Yeah.
And he told me this story, Adrian, that just, man, I'll tell it really quick, because he said, have you ever been by yourself and you're walking somewhere, and as you're walking, you swear you hear dog tags?
Yeah.
You hear something.
Sure.
So you turn around, you don't see anything. So then you just pick up your pace a little bit. And he says, then you hear it again. And now you're in a wide open run. You're running just as fast as you can. And you get in the door and you shut the door and you look out there and there's nothing, but you're scared to death. And I said, yeah, of course I felt that. And he goes, that's what a deaf child feels like all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in Eric's credit, man, Eric did a bunch of fundraisers for him. Gigantic.
Yeah, that's where I met him. And he said to me, Robert, for every $1 you give me, he says, I'll match it with 5. And so
Eric?
I went, yeah, who?
Eric did that, or Starkey?
No, Bill. Bill
Okay,
Austin. And so when I went to an event with him, I seen him chastising Bill Clinton.
Wow.
And he was looking at Bill Clinton, and this is all he said. And he said, come on, Bill, with who you are, you know you can do more. That's all he said.
Wowie.
He's going, listen, you can help more people. And I'm going like, damn, he's telling a former president that he could do more.
That's cool.
But that's called believing in your cause.
Oh, totally.
You know, there's no doubt in his mind. He believed that from his core and was not afraid to say it to anybody. And that's almost how you have to get in this business, where it is such a part of you that there is nobody you're going to bow to.
Well, me, it's really simple. Even when we talk about, you know, our you know, the belief that I have in God and Jesus, right? I really have broken that down. Me and Adrian were talking about simplicity, right? And so me, I know there's 2 things I got to do. I got to put him first in every moment of my life. And secondly, my goal is to make sure to speak to people that have ears to hear, to let them know how much they're loved.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. So when I got involved in this, I was going, what do I got to do? I got to put God first, and then I have to find ears to hear, and I got to get them to imagine a better future for themselves. That's the only thing that I've changed. I'm going like, it's like
that is a shorter book than this one.
Mine's a button.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to wear this. For those of you that are, we get to do this all online now. But I used to wear a white button, and it was a white button with the red letters, "RU?" And people would look at that, and man, you know you're talking to the right person when they look at it and go, all right, are you what? You know, that's an outgoing, person,
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, listen, are you the kind of person that likes to help people? Yeah. Do you know anyone that needs to make extra money? What is this? Why are you interested?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what it is. Let me send you a video. It's like, I'm going some people are like, this business is, I'm only interested in talking to interested people.
There it is.
Why do I have to get somebody in front of a 4-hour presentation of someone that likes to talk or hear themselves talk? You know what I mean? It's like, it's how complex people have made this industry for me is just really, really, really sad.
So let's just take a look at the landscape right now. Everybody's freaking out because they're afraid their company's going to go broke.
Right.
They're afraid their company's going to go affiliate marketing, like, Rodan and Fields and all those goofballs.
Correct.
And they've got this deep fear.
Yeah.
You don't have that deep fear.
I
And the
don't.
reason you don't have it is because if your company does do something stupid like that, which is entirely possible in any company,
Sure.
that they just give up the ghost, you've got the skills to say, really? Bad idea by you. I'm back in business tomorrow, someplace else, because I learned the skills. I've got an army, and here we go, right?
Yeah, I have 115,000 people following me on YouTube.
Yeah. Really?
And yeah, it's like when I figured out how to build an audience on YouTube, it's like out of the 115,000 subscribers that are on there, what I have, not even a 0.5% of the people as active affiliates. So that's when you really start learning what do you have to do to get people to hear, right? Ears to hear. And here's the one thing that will never change, you guys, never, ever change. Maya Angelou gets credit for this quote, but I'm sure, it's in the scriptures somewhere, is people will forget what you showed them and told them or what you trained them, but they'll never forget the way you make them feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in videos, if you can make people feel something, then they're going to subscribe. And when they subscribe, they keep showing up. And so, yeah, when I figured that out, I'm like telling people, and I forgot to tell you, it's weird. I all of a sudden started having a lot of subscribers on YouTube, and then YouTube started sending me money. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Wow. Pretty good. What's your YouTube channel?
Robert Hollis.
All right.
What a catchy name.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, when I stopped doing coaching and all of that stuff, I just made a decision that everything that I know, I did a video for. So there's 2,400 videos on there, and every time I come up with something new, or in my prayer time and my meditation time, I come up with something, I'm doing another video. And usually sometimes the videos are long. And so then I seen Craig Jackman on here. I'll give him a shout out. He's taken a lot of those videos and turned them into shorts. And then all of a sudden this thing came out called AI. And now all of a sudden it's like, it's pretty cool that AI now can take all your long videos and turn them into little bits and parts that people like to watch. And so, yeah, you guys have got to put all your videos on YouTube. My God.
That is so cool, and way to go, Craig. I love it. And he's been awesome just with all the comments here on the show too. So Craig, thanks for just being an amazing support person and cheerleader. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
So
what else you want to ask me, Tom, man? You got me here. It's like,
I haven't gotten one question, and can I ask a question? Jiminy Christmas. He keeps
when me and Tom talk, it's like
just
like two brothers that haven't seen each other.
I know it. All right. So here's what I want to know, right? You're out there and you've been building a network for years, but it sounds like you do a lot of connected, like you can meet anybody and build a connection with somebody in a short period of time. That's what I feel from you. Is that true?
Yeah, instantaneously.
What is like the anatomy of that? Because I watch him. I watch the patterns of what he does, and he's really good at it. And there's patterns in there.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that work well for you that just feel natural?
The most important thing is to make people or get people to feel that I really care for them.
Yeah.
I love people. And so the best compliments I get, Adrian, is, man, you're so down to earth. You're just so, I love this. You're simple. You don't make things complex. And so what I try to do with people, and man, I'm trying, the book will come to me as I'm saying this to you, Adrian, is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
There you go.
there's an analytical way of doing that, and then there's a heart way of doing that, right? And I always will say sincere compliments to people. If I care about a person, I will find something to give them a compliment about. And this is a skill that you can learn. If we went back and listened to this video and you seen how many times I said your name,
I have noticed it the whole show. You're great at that.
and I know you and I haven't spent any time together, but I love you.
I love you too.
And so a lot of people don't know how to express that or think that it's something weird. But you just being a part of what Tom's doing, and I know you guys' heart is to help people be better than they are. How can you not love somebody like that? So
I know you were overjoyed to have me call you Richard on Facebook.
hey,
Oh, did you?
hey, Tom, listen to this. I didn't notice it. I don't care.
I went and tried to find it for about 5 seconds. I finally said, "Heck with it." He's smart enough to know his first name, and everybody else.
Oh, Jason Cardamone.
I know that just put a big
Cardamone,
smile
I
on my
called you
face.
twice last week, and you didn't call me back. Take him off the screen.
Oh my God, yeah, Jason's
Unbelievable.
The other thing that I would say is listening skills. You know, I don't do it to try to win something over somebody. I know that you're married. I know that you got 3 kids. I know that you went internationally to 3 different countries. It's not only asking questions, but really taking the time to care enough to remember that information. You know, it's like some people are just asking the questions to go, oh, this is supposed to be some mathematical thing I'm supposed to be doing, you know, to get this person to know, like, and trust me so I can sell them something.
Yeah.
And it's just dumb to me. And so, yeah. And there is one, you brought one up. The other one is reciprocity for me. Is that, you know, people can, you know, if you go to roberthollis.com/gifts, those are things that my mentors gave to me that I'm giving to you for free. When you go there, you might be upset because there's not a capture page where I'm trying to get your name and email. I don't need it.
That's awesome. I won't email you anyway. Why bother?
It's like, but my mentor told me a number of things. That the thing that really altered my life is a book that I'll promote forever, and it's The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino.
Yeah.
And that book is my mentor had the wherewithal to understand how bad I was beating myself up when I met him, you know, getting taken away from my parents at 13, hanging around the wrong people, and spending over a year in a federal penitentiary at the age of 18. That's where I found the Lord. And he knew that I was like, I'm dyslexic. So he heard words out of me that he knew that I wasn't a miracle. So I needed to convince myself that I was.
Yeah.
And so he said, read this book, go get this book. Yeah, nowadays, you know, but go get this book and read it and then give me a call. And it took me a long time to read that book because of being dyslexic, but I kept doing it until I got it. And then I called him up and he said, what was the assignment in the book? And we were supposed to read chapter 9, the God Memorandum, for 100 days. He goes, are you going to do it? And I said, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I just read it the other day. So it's, yeah, if people are willing to do any one of those gifts for 30 days in a row, as soon as you change the circuitry, garbage in, garbage out, right, Adrian? It's like people just don't know how simple we are, you know? So if you're spending all of your time listening to yourself beat yourself up, that's not going to go off very well. So you got to get in that state of imagination where I tell people all the time, there's a audio that I love called 6 Phase Meditation by Vishen Lakhani. And if you don't spend an amount of time, a couple of minutes a day, imagining a better future for you and your family, you're toast.
Yeah.
You're toast. So I'm still imagining. I feel I want 25,000 kids that I'm supporting.
Didn't you move to Montana or some godforsaken state?
Yeah. Yeah, Yellowstone, Montana.
Whoa, what for?
My
no people.
wife, twice I've moved to California because my wife was born and raised here, and when her parents get ill, we come back and take care of them.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm a Montana boy. So
Are you really?
I know Montana like the back of my hand. I love Montana. So that was just a joke.
Oh.
Cardamone, I want to make sure Jason Cardamone, if he's still listening, I might have thought about calling you twice. So I don't know that I actually did it. So I
After your last fact checked in your Facebook comments, you decided.
Yeah, I thought I better clean that one up too. And Cardamone, where I met Jason Cardamone and fell in love with him was we were doing something for the homeless in Denver, and we were doing kind of a mediocre job at it. And the next thing I know, about 20 people. Remember when? Do you even know that?
I didn't. I had no idea that.
Yeah. So Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. Remember when he used to do that?
Yes.
And had all the little kids doing it. And we went into the inner city Denver and really transformed a lot for the homeless down there. Jason brought his entire family, his dad, everybody, and literally took over. So I had no right to kind of shade him there because, oh God, I was in trouble for good. But I do want to talk to you, Jason. I got something I want to buy from you. So thank you.
Well, now that is a way to get people to call you back.
No kidding.
I got something to buy from you. Yeah, that's good.
That's good. First, accuse them of ducking your calls on live video, and then number two, say I want to buy something.
I am the master. I learned it all from Hollis.
See, I told you that I took notes.
Yeah. Adrian, any other questions you want to ask?
Here's our last question of the day. I haven't done this in a while. So our show is the Legacy Leadership Show, and legacy, in my view, is very little to do with after you're gone and very much about what you do right now that creates ripples.
Amen.
What is the part of your legacy that you're most passionate about right now?
Great question.
My whole thing is, here's a statement that I believe that AI is. It's like when the internet happened, and then I could put videos online. I did it with Google Video before YouTube. I just believe that the universe is consistently conspiring to make sure that I impact more people faster.
Sweet.
And so AI right now has me so I've never been this excited, because a lot of the stuff that I believed I wouldn't see in the impact of people, I'm going to get to see. I always thought there was going to be most of the stuff that would be my legacy, as you said, was going to be after I was gone. And now, because of AI and agents and stuff that my son's putting together, a shout out to my son, Matthew. It's just amazing. And so, my legacy right now is I came up with this phrase that I want people to be imaginators. I want them to put on their superpower. And when we were kids, we put on the cape, ran around. We wanted to be astronauts. We wanted to be firemen. And what we did is someone talked us into taking a paycheck and is our imagination to the side.
Yeah.
So paychecks kill imagination and creativity. And my deal is I want to get people to learn to imagine again, get that skill back, and realize that true imagination comes from the master imaginator, and the master. And I just want to teach people how to have an imagination again, and start creating the life that God wants them to create. So
that is so beautiful.
We love you, man, so much. Thank you.
Just a beautiful, heart-filled conversation. So
next week we got Armand.
I know, this is
next
exciting.
Week Armand. So you guys come back, because that's going to be different, because so many people have opinions, and it's going to be a lot of fun showing that integrity carries the day and Armand's got it. It's going to be great. And Garrett and Sylvia and Keith Halls. Bang, bang. We love you all.
Thanks, everybody. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you, Adrian. God bless. God bless you, Tom. Bye, Denise. I love you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next week.